I will once more return to the hollow ground of Yad Vashem to honor 6 million Jewish lives were stolen in the genocide, and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness. To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust.
I thought that was a good start to today's show, since we are going to kick it off with some Biden gaffes, and we're also going to talk about, Nazism 2.0 coming to Italy or whatever.
I was hoping for a longer intro so I could settle into my seat.
Sorry, terribly sorry. That one just seemed like a fitting one, but it is also like one of the shortest ones that I've got. So,
Mark
barely
only got
had time to take one sip of my coffee.
Took place.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Hey, placement is important.
You know.
sorry.
It's all right.
Well, we
I
can
spent
just
12 hours in the car yesterday. I'm very familiar.
It's good for me to face adversity. It's like my fantasy football team's going to lose this week. It's very adversarial time for us.
Oh, are you going to lose again?
Again, I didn't lose last week.
Didn't you lose week 1?
No,
Are you sure?
I beat Magoo.
Oh, that's right. You had that cupcake for your first week 1 matchup. Forgot about that.
Wow.
Well, I need
Am I
Tony
laggy
Pollard.
or anything weird?
You were laggy earlier, but it doesn't appear that you are now. So maybe you got it sorted out.
Okay, my screen's being a little funny. It's maybe just taking a minute. Oh, god damn it. Morty, stop.
Morty's eating shit. That's probably what it is.
Look, my computer just about flew off the table. I've been pretty lucky with this one.
He's chewing through your internet cable and charger and everything else. I need Tony Pollard to have a good night. If Tony Pollard has a good night, I win. If he does not, then I'm fucked. So it all hinges on that.
What do you think the odds of E. Elliott making 30 points?
That's the kicker, right?
If he makes
Z. Elliott.
Running back.
Zeke.
yeah.
Not super high.
And say if he gets 30 points, then there's a guarantee that Tony Pollard will not get 15. And so if you win, then I lose. That's kind of how.
Even though you guys aren't playing against each other, you are in a way playing against each other tonight.
Right. But what really sucks is I have Zeke Elliott in another league, so I actually do need him to do I don't need him to score 30 points, but I need him to not be completely trash. So if he can pull like a solid 10, but then Tony Pollard gets vultures all the touchdowns, that I need Zeke to get the yards, but Pollard to get the touchdowns, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance against Clyde for a little bit yesterday. My percentage, was up, and then I just watched it tank throughout the day. Looking pretty rough now. I'm down to 6% chance, so there's still a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's better than Harry's.
Chance.
Wait, Harry or I can't remember what their names were in Dumb and Dumber.
Stephanie has
Harry. It's one of them.
What was the other
Lloyd.
one's name?
Lloyd.
Harry and Lloyd. And it was Lloyd who wanted the girl.
Yes.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Well, now we need somebody who's watching on YouTube to let us know whether or not you can hear us.
We have a...
Never mind. We got our answer.
Thanks
Corey. It's we can hear each other, so if y'all can't hear us, this is just gonna be really awkward.
It's all been fantasy football anyway, so it's not.
If Saquon Barkley has a good night, then Stephanie's gonna beat Nutter. So I'm really hoping Saquon has a good night. Plus, I do have him
Nutter
in another league, and I could afford for him to have a monster night.
I mean, I guess I could win if CeeDee Lamb doesn't get 8 points.
Well, that's always a possibility.
It is Cooper Rush throwing to him.
So that is a very distinct possibility. Back on topic. We started with Joe Biden and a gaffe. Is this a Biden gaffe, or is this just straight up Biden like calling himself out?
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway, but right now,
I'll just cheer.
Can't say that.
And then they all cheer.
Optics.
You know, it doesn't matter with optics with this cat anymore.
The words just like fall out of his mouth. I don't think he even realizes what he's saying.
She was 12. I was 30. He was pointing to someone. I don't know.
Who is now like 63.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was 30, so this
He's
was
like flirting with her. He's like, hey, we haven't
almost
seen each
50
other
years
in a
ago.
long
So now
time.
she's in her 60s.
You know, it's slightly more appropriate now.
Yeah. Go for it now. Dr. Jill might not be happy.
Whatever. Wasn't she 15 when they met?
Her cutoff line was 14. So, is this the lady?
I don't know. It's
Lady.
the way
Girl.
the way,
Excuse me.
the way Joe was eyeballing her.
Why? Never mind. I don't.
No, don't
I
pull a
don't
fucking Clyde and like cut yourself off. Just say it. Say it, bitch.
No, I just this picture is weird.
Isn't it though?
Especially out of context. Like, I don't know what the context might make it weirder. But with no context, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Is that what bathing suits looked like in 1942? Is she wearing a bathing suit?
1942.
God, I hope not. But no, isn't that? I'm almost positive that's right. That his he met his current wife when she was like 15. She was like the like nanny or babysitter or something when his first wife was like late stages of life or like whatever it was she died of. Like,
Well, he probably killed her, right?
Jill was like the nanny or babysitter or something, and then after she died, or after his wife died, then he just got with Jill. I'm almost positive I'm right about that.
It's pretty
Somebody
typical for
fact check me on the fly if I'm wrong on that, but I'm almost 100% positive I saw that somewhere.
Didn't like Newt Gingrich do the same thing? And like, isn't like that kind of thing happen like with like a lot of these politician dudes? There's like some story like their wife's like has like dying of cancer for like 5 years, and like meanwhile they're courting somebody else.
That sounds about right.
That's pretty fucked
Probably
up.
Trump. I don't know. Something like that happened. I don't know.
His
think
wife
Trump-
died. His ex-wife died of the vaccine.
But they
he
were-
only has one ex-wife.
Yeah,
Nah,
but
Not
they
on
got
like 7. Oh,
they got
I don't
divorced
know,
like a
man.
long time ago. Like I think he just got tired of her and moved on. Like I don't think it was a.
I think I'm thinking of Newt Gingrich. I think he had something like that. Whatever, doesn't matter. He's irrelevant these days, right? God, he's irrelevant these days, right?
We played a new clip last Friday.
Yeah, that was.
Dag must
Get the
not have
fuck outta
watched
here.
last Friday's show.
No,
and Dag's usually so good about going back and watching the shows that he misses.
Well, I try and watch them while they occur. I'm bad about going back and watching them, but if I can't be there, I try to at least watch. But I wasn't able to this week. Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
I was
Yeah,
on D time.
We forgive you.
We're
Let's
all
see
on
what-
stream.
Let's see what gold nugget Joe has.
Banned.
For this clip. I don't even know. I don't actually know what he says in this clip. I just happen to see it, so we're gonna give it a shot.
Get hot. I got hairy legs
Oh,
that
that's
turn that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap,
Yeah,
and
I
I
bet
love
you did.
kids jumping on my lap.
I bet
Jesus
you do.
Christ!
It's
forgot
funny
to-
because before he started, just how bad that was all around. When you first started playing it, I'm like, oh man, why does Joe look so young and spry? And then I'm like, oh, because this was 3 years ago.
That was a
No,
campaign,
no
right?
wonder. Yeah, this was, hey, man, this was, I don't know which body double. But like, you guys have seen the meme, I'm sure, where it's like maybe Corn Pop wasn't such a bad dude. He was just trying to keep this creepy lifeguard from fucking with the kids, you know?
Man, like the Joe Biden quotes and stuff, he just gets worse and worse. Although, this is the last Biden clip I got for today. And this one is actually not terrible.
We provide hard-hitting analysis of Biden
do.
gaffes.
Years old
not a
Biden gaffes.
And let me tell you, I think, and I know some of you weren't happy with me. I didn't think we should defund the police. I never believed that and said so at the time. But I sure in hell don't think we should be funding the FBI either. And let me tell you something.
Yeah, I don't think you meant to say that.
Some of you weren't happy with me. I didn't think we should defund the police. I never believed that and said so at the time. But I sure in hell don't think we should be funding the FBI either.
Do you think he meant to say defunding?
I'm pretty sure that's where he was going with that.
That would be the simplest answer, I suppose. I mean, do we have to say that I don't think we should be funding the FBI either?
We already know.
We already. Okay, cool. I just in case anybody wasn't clear in my position there. I wanted to...
So I am kind of torn on that whole, not the FBI, like fuck them. We should definitely defund those bastards. Like as far as defunding or funding of the police, like having seen a lot of these videos of the police just doing completely awful shit and also just like hearing them say, and what was the chick? Did we play the thing with the chick a couple weeks ago that said, like, if you see me behind you, get out of the way. I can do 90 and you can't, and like all this crazy shit. She got suspended by the department for all of that video that she did, but like just being an absolute fucking terror. Which, number one, women shouldn't be police anyway. Like,
yeah, at least not like patrol
this is
kind
a
of
hard
cops, dude.
and
That's
fast rule
crazy.
here.
yeah, like they can work dispatch. That's about it. Like filing cabinets and stuff. That's
I find it hard to believe that like there's like solo male cops, you know what I mean? Like even just one dude, you know. But then again, I'm to sort of piggyback on your point about defunding the police or not or whatever. It's, you know, like if half the shit that they actually bust people for wasn't illegal, which probably shouldn't be, right? And it's like, okay, like they could actually be just addressing serious crime. So you'd have like detectives and SWAT teams, and then like community service cops, right? Or like, oh, we need to go check on grandma kind of shit, you know. But yeah, I mean, defund the police. It's like, I mean, we want security of some sort, you know, but do I want the state police like gone? Like, yeah, but obviously it's not even like anything that could happen where they just be like, okay, cops are defunded, you know, like, because the whole defund the police, weren't they just diverting funds to other police activity or something? They weren't actually.
Yeah, none of the police defunding actually worked in the direction of defunding anything. It just shuffled the funds around. It took the same funding and shuffled it around to do other things that were actually probably worse. So
yeah, and I mean, I could now, of course, whatever these people's suggestions, you know, because these are in very, you know, blue cities and stuff, they're all going to be terrible. But like, I mean, I'm sure we rationally could take the money police are being given and rearrange it somehow to make policing far more effective. But that you'd have to get rid of just the essence of government bureaucracy at that point, and you just can't really do that with the state funded cops, I think. So
yeah, and that's like the ANCAP solution is always, you know, privatized security force. And it's like, well, but you still have the same problem. Like there's you've just moved it from publicly funded to privately funded, but it's still going to be the same base issues that you have. And I don't know.
The cities themselves need to be private, I think, before you can really make that effective transition to good private policing. You know, it's like the cops can't be beholden to the state and federal laws, you know, to have to enforce certain things, you know, or you need like some place, even if it wasn't private, where, you know, yeah, they were just like declared we're not enforcing all this shit, but I don't know how that would go the first few rounds.
Once you have your covenant community, then you can have your privatized police force for your covenant community. But you got to get the community aspect of it first. You can't start with privatizing the police. You have to start with like developing the community.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Florida, there's a big thing where they privatize a lot of prisons, and like on the face of it, it's like okay, cool, but then like from what I understand, I'm no numbers junkie like you, Justin. So maybe you can tell me better, but it seems like the privately run prisons in Florida ended up being like horrible, like really, really bad. The food was worse. The prisoners were treated much worse. I'm sorry, the inmates were treated much worse. So it's like, yeah, that didn't really work out the way that we would. Well, it didn't really make a great example of privatization,
Yeah, if you've
and
ever
obviously the state-funded prisons are bad too, but.
If you've ever watched Orange is the New Black, like it is based in reality to a large extent. Like the story itself is loosely based on a true story, and then a lot of what goes on within the series is loosely based on real life scenarios of like privatizing jails and prisons, especially like minimum security ones and stuff like that. And then like the stories of the characters and some of the crazy shit that goes on in the show itself is mostly fiction, but the premise of it is based in reality. And yeah, that's one of the things that they look at and talk about a lot in that show is like when these prisons get moved into a private, like effectively it becomes a for-profit prison system, which I mean, that's the way the state is running it too, but they're being a little, at least they're trying to pretend that they're not. Whereas as soon as it goes into the private sector, then it becomes completely for profit. And like, it is basically a manufacturing industry of like churning out prisoners, and you get paid per prisoner and all this other stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of,
my old man worked for, the prison system for a while, about 20 years ago. And he was only working there a month when I first heard the term warehousing people for money. Like that's what he was told they do. And this was a state prison, but he was like, we warehouse people for money, and you have seen the cases of the judges getting charged actually now with purposefully like sentencing kids to longer sentences. So they'd have to go to these private, like they were taking kickbacks from the private prisons to send people there. Which obviously that stuff happens with the public prisons too. I mean, or one way or another. I mean, it's all fucking crooked, but it's just this really direct thing. And it's like, yeah, when you still have that state influence, you just can't, it just sucks, man.
Just execute everybody and then move on. Then we don't have any of these problems.
Look,
when I go,
anybody who makes less than $30,000 a year.
That's also a much higher deterrent to crime. It's like, yeah, you're not going to go spend 5 years in prison. You're going to get killed immediately. So either, straighten up or, decide is your life more valuable than that pair of sneakers over there.
I just like to go for a run and not encounter a freaking bum on the sidewalk with his pants down to his knees, so I get his full butt right in my face.
That's why you carry one of these. Then you don't have that problem.
Someone's just running by, just like
you just.
I'd suggest moving.
That's it's.
I mean, I feel you, dude. I really do. That is awful. Fuck. I watched some Fox News the other day because we were staying in a hotel, and it's just what's on in the hotel, so that's cool. But I don't watch much, TV news. But what I do is not often Fox News either. But it's just so funny because it's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is better, and then they just say some ridiculous shit. I don't know, man. It's funnier. Fox News is funnier, even though it seems to be a lot of bullshit too.
I told my parents this last night because they had Fox News on and it was Mark Levin giving some first grade history lesson and it was awful. I was like, you guys just need to only watch Tucker. Like he's the only one worth watching on this channel.
Yeah, I watched some Tucker. It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. There was some, even there was some stuff, I don't remember what it was, but like claims that I'm not saying are wrong, but like give me one cite something, shit like that, I guess. But whatever, especially with these like hour-long shows where it's some dude, I guess it's people want your personality. You don't have to explain all the bullshit. People just want to hear your opinion anyhow. So maybe I'm just being curmudgeon-y.
And as for funding the police, like if we're going to have 2 to 3 tanks in every college campus, then we're going to have to start funding the police a little bit more.
Tanks? What else did I miss while I was gone, I guess?
Hey, just tanks on every college campus. This is the next step. I'm just kidding, Dag, sort of.
Oh, I didn't know if this was a thing that's happening. I was like, what kind are we talking? Are these like police tanks or these college tanks? What are these privately funded tanks? I could get on board with that.
I don't know, man.
Are these 3D printed tanks? I mean, now you're really getting me hard.
Can you 3D print a tank? That seems a little excessive. But,
Probably not
Piece
yet.
at a time.
One piece at a time. It's like a connects. You just like connect the
Yeah.
pieces together.
It should do like this one piece of track and then the next piece of track. And
Mhm.
yeah, here in about 45 years, I'll be done with it.
There's those dudes who 3D printed a Lamborghini or like the body of it.
Could they
that's
drive it?
Time. Yeah, I mean, I think it was like they. You know, are you guys familiar with the concept of a kit car?
Mhm.
So okay, Mark.
Like
so
a
basically,
glue kit car?
No, like you take like a Ferrari, like a what was like a Pontiac Fiero or some shit, and you could buy like a Ferrari kit. So you could put like a Ferrari body on it, and it looked like you were driving around in a Ferrari, but it was really a Pontiac Fiero. So I think it was a situation like that, like they 3D printed like a Lamborghini kit car.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. This was in the early days of 3D printing too, so it's not like now where it's way easier and cheaper.
All right, let's have us a little laugh before we move on to the other serious topics, since Mark is kind of alluding to that with tanks on the.
I wasn't even trying to allude to anything, but my dad left.
Black Little Mermaid. Well, who really gives a fuck if this fake fish is black? You know, like who gives a fuck if black? And my whole thing is like I've dated a couple black chicks, and you cannot get that hair wet. So that's really the mermaid part is the hair, you know, and you can't have a Jewish mermaid either because they can't fuck with shellfish. So yeah. But the people who are mad about that, I'm like, what a fun life you must have, but that's the biggest problem in life, you know? Oh, a mermaid. He's black. Oh, if I go scuba diving, he's gonna take my wallet.
Magoo gets it.
See, you could have explained that to me. I would have got it. And Mark Norman is awesome, by the way. If I actually went and saw him live a few months ago with my buddy. He sent me that clip actually. But he puts on a good show.
That was very funny.
I like the improv-y guys, like where they take, hey, holler something out and I'll talk about it, you know, like, because then it's not like they just have their hour, you know, it's like they're fucking, it's different at every show. I think it's more fun.
Speaking of comedians, Alex Stein went on Owen Benjamin's stream the other night.
Oh, word.
The two
How was
most
that?
mentioned comedians on this show. It was good. I'm halfway through.
I was going to ask if it was worth a listen.
Yeah, check it out.
Mark doesn't miss anything Owen Benjamin though, so like he's always gonna say it's worth
I
it.
saw Alex Stein's name. I like that guy too. Well, they talked about, I don't know if you saw, Alex Stein was hosting, I can't say his name, Smalek's Own's show the other night. And some guy called in and started ranting about the Jews, and Alex Stein had to be like, oh, you can't say that on InfoWars, and like cut him off. So people are like, oh, Alex Stein is a shill. But him and like Owen talked about it, and he's like, well,
Was it Owen who called in ranting about
no,
that?
no. It's like you actually like, I guess it wasn't Alex's show, or not Alex Stein's show, the other Alex show. It was. It's just confusing. So it's like Alex Stein's like, if it was my own show, like I would have entertained it, but like I'm just like a guest host here.
Yeah. Don't want to ruffle too many feathers, as if the other guy,
it sucks
as
you
if
can't
the
say
other
that
Alex
on-
doesn't do that.
It sucks that InfoWars won't even go to that though.
If
Mark
they
is
only
so
had the
disappointed.
freedom of,
Yeah.
if they only had the freedom of the morning after, you could just say "fuck them Jews" whenever you want, and then move on to the next topic.
Hey,
Speaking
Guys,
of,
that's a little harsh for a Monday. Come on.
speaking of fuck
Unless
them
this next
Jews,
article is
let's,
going to change my mind.
maybe it will.
We'll see if things go in a difficult direction. I've spoken about Hungary and Poland. We have tools if things go in the right direction, and people as a body that is always where always governments have to be accountable to play an important role.
So as long as things go in the right direction, and in terms of what this European Union, what's her official title? Is she the shit? Anyway, she's like the head of the European Union. What she's saying is, if things in she's talking about the Italian elections, and if things go the right way, meaning that the progressive candidates win, then that'll be fine. But if things go the wrong way and the conservative candidate wins, then the European Union is going to have to step in and do something. Well, guess what happened?
You think they're going to change the definition of democracy like they did the vaccine?
They've been trying
And
for the last
inflation.
year and a half.
Like to actually officially change it though. Like Webster's
Oh.
dictionary actually changed the
Maybe.
definition.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, we're going 1984. Let's go full newspeak.
Yeah, why hold back at this point?
Mm-hmm.
How would you
Just
even
changing.
like? What would you change that to? Define democracy. It is when the people vote in the interest of I don't know.
It's such a bullshit word. The way it's like when people use it, like they're pleading with me on why because our democracy is at stake, and I'm like, well, what are you talking about? You mistake me
And
for
then-
somebody who likes democracy.
And then female Hitler gets in, and they're like, "Well, hold up."
Isn't it? You were the one that mentioned this, but isn't it just a shame that like you literally have Mussolini
Yeah.
in Italy, but they go straight for Hitler?
They go straight to Hitler.
no creativity whatsoever for
Like
any of these
Mussolini had
bastards.
to take a backseat to Hitler in the 30s and 40s too. The poor guy. Like, I mean, he's kind of he was. I mean, he was more efficient than Hitler in many ways. Maybe that's why.
So
Those
anyway,
trains, man. Maybe the trains is just a myth.
is she going to have the trains running on time?
It's a matter of ideology and sex. It's like which one overtakes the other in this case, if you catch my drift.
Even if you were like on like a train engineer that only, that didn't transport humans, you're getting a bad rep if you happen to be around in that era. Like my grandfather was German and he was a train engineer, but it's not what you think. Like you just can't talk your way out of that. You just got to pretend
I
like
know
that
it's not
grandfather
what we
doesn't
think
exist.
because those were luxury trains headed to those places. Sorry.
I tried to come up with a joke. I couldn't. That was good or awful. So bear with me here. I've been a little out of the news loop. So this lady is Italian. This was a lady that we were watching speak, saying if things don't go the way that
No.
No. That was Ursula von der Meyer or whatever.
You probably just need to give positions and not names.
Yeah. Okay. So
Good call. Yeah.
the director of the European Union, Ursula von Bitchface, she
Okay.
was the one that was saying that if things don't go the right way, that they'll have to step in and do something about it. This is
Things not going the right way.
Yeah, this is things not going the right way. So this is Giorgia Meloni. She is the right-wing nationalist candidate for Italy, and she won. She won handily. She had, I can't remember the exact number. It was 26 or 29% more. She had 26 or 29% more vote than the next closest candidate. Like they have more than two candidates.
So she's the next big boy RD. I don't know what their leaders are called there. I assume it's, but
Yes,
is she
she's the
the new like?
Well, she's
leader
going to
of
change it to
Italy?
Führer anyways, but
Yeah.
until
You
then.
start with Chancellor. You move up. Yeah.
Yes.
But is
first
she the new
female
like
prime minister
person?
ever. Yes.
Prime Minister? Okay, she's the new head bick. Okay, cool. Okay,
Yes.
caught up. Okay, I was a little confused because at first I was like, okay, the first they just look like blonde ladies to me, so I can't tell the difference. I'm like, okay, the first one seems like something that the Atlantic would really be for, and then seeing this article, so okay.
That explains why Dag likes the blue-haired chicks, because if they don't have some special color, they're all just standard blondes, and he doesn't.
It's the only way I can pick them out of a crowd. I have a problem with recognizing faces. All right, I got hit in the head one too many times. I don't know something.
So yeah, this is literally Hitler 2.0. I guess
So they
3.0
say.
because Trump was literally Hitler 2.0.
This lady actually, she didn't like come out of nowhere. I don't know if you saw the video reporting on her when she was like a teen in the 90s. Or she's like 20. I'll see if I find it. But she's been running in like right-wing circles in Italy for a long time. I'll send
So
it.
what are they afraid of her doing, other than
I'm happy you asked that question because I've got the video of what they're afraid of right here.
Okay.
Now it's all in Italian, so you'll have to trust the translator on this. But
Oh, you got her speech?
yeah,
Papa
I
the
got the speech.
Man, I saw this speech and
Did you get fired up? I got fired up.
I-
I was like, let's fucking go. Let's go.
Oh, geez.
Farne tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande. Perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità. Perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico. Per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria, il consumatore perfetto. E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo, piaccia o no, ha del sacro. Lo difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo a qualcuno. Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori in balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione, ecco perché oggi sono venuta qui. Scriveva Chesterton ormai più di un secolo fa, vediamo se ve lo trovo. Fuochi verranno attizzati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato, signori. Siamo pronti. Grazie.
I almost just felt like saluting.
I thought this
One
was
finger,
I thought this was an interesting line. Fires will be kindled to testify that 2 and 2 make 4. Do y'all remember about a year and a half ago when that was a legitimate argument going on Twitter, was whether or not 2 plus 2 was 4 or 5? Like how, and there were like intellectuals and scholars, like college professors who were making the case for 2 plus 2 does not equal 4. Like this, and the whole thing was going on in the midst of the gender identity bullshit and all of that other stuff, and like, can a man get pregnant and all of that? Like, this is what like we're up against, and like that, and that's like what she's saying. That, and on top of all of that,
Chesterton was a very smart guy. He was also the guy who coined or who wrote about not tearing down walls that you don't know if you don't know the reason they were built there in the first place. Which is
don't untether that dog if you don't know why it's tethered.
It's another way. That's the DAG version.
Yeah.
Also, a few months ago, I forget if we played the clip on this show, but there were those stupid Italian protesters blocking the street, as they do. And the people in their cars were like getting out and just like grabbing the protesters and throwing them off to the side. So this has been coming. This has been coming in Italy for a little while.
You know, whenever I'm watching somebody speak, especially like a politician making a speech in a foreign language, it's either really hilarious and silly because, you know, other languages are funny, or they sound like really like badass, right? But she did pretty good.
Yeah, she didn't
good.
Trudeau it, that's for sure.
Yeah, not bad.
Did you get that other video, Justin?
yes, I was about to pull that up.
She's hot.
We're
I wish I could go back in time. And here we
I
are,
want to
26 years
apologize
later.
to our audio listeners today.
Yeah, if you don't speak Italian, you're pretty well out of
Yeah.
the loop on what's going on if you're not actually watching the show today. But
I have not learned a new language. It is not me
I'm-
speaking.
I'm learning how similar all Latin languages are because I mean it was like just sounded like half Spanish. You know, like I could pick out a few words.
There are a lot of very distinct similarities between
Mhm.
Italian and Spanish. Trey, I haven't seen Trey in the comments today, but he had sent me one of the videos, and I was like, I don't speak Italian, but I know enough words that watching the translations, it seems like they're
Mhm.
pretty spot on. Like they at least got the big parts of the speeches right. Even if the translation isn't like 100% accurate, they got the most important parts of it right from like the words that I know. Yeah.
So was this that same lady?
Yeah, this was her in the 90s.
Oh no shit.
So she's been doing this for a while. She's been a fascist for 30 years.
Wow, that almost makes it more horrifying. She's gonna go the whole fucking
Depends on how
way,
you look
man.
at it, right?
she's going the whole fucking way.
Well, that's
Oh,
right, like
man.
Mark said, like that depends on how you look at it. Like there was the thing from Ellen Barkin. She's an actress that I think she is Italian, at least Italian ancestry, if not was born in Italy. But she had said something about like this is 1933 Germany all over again, and it's like, okay, yeah, but like, do you know why 1933 Germany happened? Like historically, do you understand what happened that led up to that point? Like, do you know why Mussolini came into power and what happened that led up to that point? Like, if you look at everything historically that happened in like the early 1900s, pre or post, well, even pre and post World War I, that led up to the like fascistic regimes that took power in the 20s and 30s that led to World War II. Like, it was all the same shit that's happening in the world right now. It's like all of this, gender identity nonsense bullshit. It's all of this incredibly progressive, like woke dumbassery. Like this isn't some new unique thing that's just isolated to us in this millennia. Like this is stuff that happened literally 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago, and well, probably 1,000 years ago too. But anyway, that happened literally 100 years ago and led to exactly what we're seeing now. Like one of the main tenets of this, the new right-wing party that's now in control in Italy is we're going to shut down all of this immigration because it has, like you've seen in Germany, like you've seen in Sweden, like you've seen in Great Britain, it has completely wrecked their society. Like they've just been dumping immigrants in literally by the truckloads, and it has completely wrecked their society. So they've got just rampant immigration that is killing their society. They've got all of this like crazy woke nonsense that is destroying the family, that's destroying individuality, that's destroying everything about their culture that had made them great at one time. And what you're starting to see, especially across Europe, in Italy, Germany, Sweden, the United Kingdom, is these right-wing fascistic nationalistic movements are coming into power because everybody's seeing what's going on and they're like, no, this is not good. Fuck this. We've got to do something about it. And the only people who are suggesting doing something about it are the fascists. So you know what? We're going to all be fucking fascists because this has got to come to an end. I mean, I'm for it. Fuck it.
There was this tranny on Twitter, sorry, transgender person
Okay. Carry on.
on Twitter who tweeted out recently, when you realize that the Nazis set us back so far because they burned all of our books in the 30s, and it was like an angry emoji, and people were like quote tweeting it. They were like, yeah, when you do realize this, it's all a matter of how you look at it.
So that's next Sunday.
Here's what I'm saying. Hold on. So because like I don't disagree like with it, like okay, yeah, that's
advocate. Just kidding. Go ahead.
That's like why like you said, oh, that's why this happened and blah blah blah. And it's like yeah, exactly. Like I feel you, but that's the thing. Like all that shit led to like a world war, and after the World War, it what happened? All the shit fucking reset. The people who we didn't want to have power got more fucking power, and it's happening again, right? So that event, it was never fixed, right? You know what I mean? Like, it never fixed the problem, and in fact, it caused, it led. I'm not going to say that, let's say the response to the debauchery, right, was the whole cause, but it led to this huge fucking event where tons of fucking people died. And I don't think we can argue like that was good. So my argument is like, fuck, I don't want to do that again. Like, it's like, I'm not saying let's not like fix the issue, right? I'm not saying that people getting in a better headspace is wrong, but it's just unfortunate because I see the history repeating, just like you're saying. Like, I agree. But in that sense, I'm not all for it. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I would much rather it unfold in a different manner than it did before. Hopefully better. You know what I mean? That's all. That's what I'm saying. So I don't disagree with you guys, but I have to make that fucking distinction because
that's the hopefully
point has
better
been kind
thing.
of bothering me. Yeah,
because I was having this conversation with my kids a couple weeks ago, and I was explaining to them like the history of it and everything. And my son, he was like, "So you're a Nazi?" I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not saying that I'm a Nazi. I'm saying that I understand why."
The show is not lasting.
I'm saying that I understand why
Here I wouldn't
Nazism.
say Alex Jones' name, and we're just.
I understand why Nazism was a necessity for what was going on in their country at that time.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, like, some things got derailed and they went in a pretty extreme direction at one point. After like there was a certain
you could
necessity.
argue it was because of the backlash, even that wasn't the original plan. You could, I've
Right,
definitely heard that
right. I mean,
argument
there's
made. So, yeah.
there's a lot of shit that happened, in that time. I mean, if they had just done what they had intended to do and like got the societal, cultural like shit sorted out and didn't, push forward with world conquest and genocide of the Jews, then it might have actually been a successful, not terrible thing. But the history didn't play out that way, so here we are. Nazism is now a bad thing instead of being potentially
it didn't play out that way.
Right. It's like so that's the nuanced conversations I'm having with a 12 and a 14-year-old in the truck on the way to school in the morning. So
If you want to just like zoom in and view it from. Which you can't really because of global homo, but just look at it from only Italy's perspective. It is really in this country's soil that they have like a government that is pretty centralized and authoritative, right?
It's kind of been that was a big famous government at one point, right?
Yeah.
That was hugely okay. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if it was a republic at first, but once it started to crumble, it turned to something else.
right. Well,
And
I mean,
it wasn't like it was a combination of one central figure claiming power, but also like the people wanting that as well.
Well, and even after that began to deteriorate, then that power structure just transferred to the church. So then it was the Pope, and like that was what was running things, as opposed to like a traditional government type of like the traditional government existed, but it was effectively being run at the discretion of the Pope and the church. So like, yeah, that's kind of what they crave in that part of the world for whatever reason.
And you see this happening in France as well. Like, it seems like the people are clamoring for something that global homo won't allow it to get.
People want strong leaders.
Do we consider sorry, my like ancient history is pretty poor. So like the Roman Empire and stuff, like, do we consider that Italy? Do we consider that like the same thing, or was that so long ago and then that crumbled and Italy came out of that, or would we still consider that Italy?
I think
Okay, maybe it wasn't such a dumb question.
it's
Nobody could just answer it.
It's like, did the people of the people living in Rome look like the people who live there now? It's like, I don't think that they did, but I don't know. There's a weird something or another about the soil. Like the land is the same, right?
Yeah. Italy itself is like kind of and even just like, because like Italy, there's like North and South Italy are like very different and kind of traditionally had been. So it kind of makes for a.
Is it your birthday?
So yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy
now everybody can
birthday.
identify me. Thank you. it's like I met a dude from North Italy, you know, and he comes from some small town, and it's just always really amazes me. And Mark's gonna really perk up here, I know. It just always really like amazes me how like they come from like these little towns that have had like this, say, like they make their prosciutto, and it's whatever. It's not called prosciutto. It's called whatever. They only call it in this town, and they've been making it for, 600 fucking years or whatever. And it's just amazing to me that after like, world wars and like all this shit that's happened, there's still like these little like places that exist like so much in these countries. I knew a dude who was from Holland, and he lived in a town that they spoke a different dialect than the whole rest of the country, and it just, because they've been whatever for how long, and it's just so crazy to me. And coming from, America, the salad or melting pot or whatever, it does make it a little different. Obviously there's neighborhoods or whatever in certain cities or certain places, but like in Italy, especially, though, it is just how these little places can hold on to these traditions from like food, especially. It's just always really amazed me how it hasn't gone away,
I wouldn't say it has completely gone away here. I mean, I could tell the difference between a Louisianan and a Floridian pretty easily. So
oftentimes, just look at the sticker on the back of their truck. Does it say flow grown, or I don't know what the hell they have in Louisiana, but something. South Carolina, it's Haybo, and they all got their thing. I don't know. Truck stickers not as big of a thing up there. I don't know. People really like to show off their opinions on their.
We got to. I mean, we see them. There's a lot of native of Michigan stickers, so there are people who are proud of Michigan. Not like those natives, but like you were born.
Right. I know what you're saying. Hawaii has a thing. I'm surprised we don't have a bigger deal here in Florida. Maybe that's what the flow grown stickers mean.
So it would
Maybe
be like
you were born
the
here.
V in native is like the thumb or the mitten shaped like a V or whatever. Yeah. I may or may not
go
own
over your
one of
heart
these.
too. Just like that.
I may or may not own one of these shirts myself.
That's some of the gayest shit I think I've ever heard.
Oh fuck. Nobody wants to admit they're native to Indiana, so
I'm not.
yeah.
Wait, Mississippi or Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Never remember.
Kentucky.
That would make sense.
Kentucky.
I would be more proud of Kentucky heritage than Indiana heritage.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of family that comes from Indiana.
Comes from or currently resides in?
Comes from my two great grandmas. They moved to Michigan because she had asthma, and the doctor said the water in the air, the lake water, would do wonders for her. Because Indiana is just all land.
That's very like old timey, where they send you to live somewhere else because the consumption, is getting
Seems
your
to
lungs.
apparently like it helped her. So the old timey stuff worked better than the modern stuff in many ways.
So for asthma, you go to damper climates, and for consumption, you go to drier climates. Okay, starting to make sense.
We should write a morning after book.
Old timey medicine
old
by
remedies.
the morning after guys.
Morning after remedies.
If it's the scripts you got. Yeah. Cod liver oil applied generously to the anus.
Well, you know what? Speaking of needing some lube for your anus, the winter is.
Whoa! This was a remedy, dude. I don't know what kind of weird shit you're talking about.
Where are we segueing with this?
Winter is upon us.
So I take it we're done with talking about Italian fascism then.
Well, I mean,
Mark had more. Keep going, buddy. Let's hear it.
Mark, save a little bit of it because we're going to do the. Actually, I'm going to be doing a stream of my show next Sunday at 2 p.m. with Pete Quinones, and we're going to go through the Nazi book burnings and what they were actually what we were actually burnt or what they were actually burning, and then I'm going to try to get this guy.
I'm sorry I ruined it then.
I'm going to try to get this guy over here to do a follow-up with me the following day, and we're going to talk about why the Nazis were right. If he's up for that.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the Nazis were right. I mean, you have to
right. That's why
There's a lot of ins, lots of outs. It's a real. It's a real delicate situation.
It's a
here.
nuanced conversation. It's not
It's all
just
a rich tapestry.
Yes.
Well, it is funny, you know, as we were sort of talking about, you know, like historical events unfolding in a certain way. And it is always like amazing. I always have to wonder, like, how much is it that one particular thing, like small event, actually alters history, or if it's just, it seems to us that it does, you know, just how things sort of unfold. Obviously, these are answers we can never really, or questions we can never really know the answer to, you know, but it's, I don't know. It's weird. We have to eat mushrooms and think about it. You guys want to do a mushroom show? A mushroom episode?
What does that mean?
Like, we're gonna
Where
do
we-
shrooms, and then we're gonna talk about deep shit.
A
Dude,
small
I don't
amount of
even-
shrooms. Maybe
You
like
guys-
slightly above a microdose.
You guys can dose, and you tell me what you see, and I'll interpret it for you.
You know,
This will be the next-
thing, man. It's about killing your ego and thinking in ways you never thought you could think before,
I
and
like
then coming
my
back to
ego.
reality, and you're like, okay, well, that was interesting, man. You
This
know,
will be
it
the
doesn't
next-
actually give you some big change, but fuck, man, it helps.
This will be the next night before. We're all gonna do shrooms, and
Guys, I feel like Dag's pressuring me to do drugs.
I
Well-
actually am for once. I always said I would never
He
pressure
said
you to
this
do
is the one
drugs, but
time.
this is happening now. Just a little bit, just to take the edge off.
I keep asking you if you've tried these different beers and liquors and stuff, and you keep
Who, me?
yes, you.
I feel it. I just think that you just forget. You're just like, oh.
Maybe
You went
it's
to a
that I
Renaissance
forget, and
fair.
maybe I'm trying to encourage you that they're not all that bad, and you should be experimenting with, you know. It's all natural. I mean,
Everybody's doing it, man.
Drink my water.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm seriously not trying to pressure you to doing drugs. I don't want to.
No, I feel pressured now, and
but it'd be.
I
But it would
already
be
got
fun.
kicked off the string.
Corey even agrees.
Yeah, I mean, a small dose of mushrooms once or twice in your life, I don't really think is bad for.
I don't think
I think-
that Justin's done mushrooms before.
I haven't, but that doesn't mean I'm opposed to
No,
it.
I'm not saying that you would.
Remember, it's for the show.
Yeah, the opportunity
I
just hasn't come up.
sacrifices
It's
for the
not,
show.
it's not that
Look,
I'm
I
against it.
sacrifice
I
enough
just-
for this thing.
So anyway,
Oh, that really would be weird first time on air, though. I gotta admit, you really should do it, like you know, hanging out outside watching the sunset. That's that is a better way to do it. Just saying.
nah, fuck that. Let's put some strobe lights on and talk about like politics.
Oh God. And let's play chess while we're doing it. Oh fuck.
I need to learn how to play chess. I've never played chess in my life.
You've
Don't
never
do it on
played
shrooms.
chess?
That's personal advice. Yeah. That's crazy to me that you've never played chess.
No.
Right, you seem like you one of those chess types.
You
I
should play with
strike
me
you
then,
as a
dude, because I'm
chess
not very
player.
good. So
Okay.
maybe it'll be like a good pairing. Like, you know, you could be actually be competition for me, and I won't be too much competition for you. Because I've got a buddy who's been getting me to play online with him, and he just fucking stomps me, dude. It's embarrassing.
Asian guy.
No. White dude.
He's just a prodigy. I guess he's
I'd
probably
say
not
there's a,
kid anymore.
There's like a chess app that you can like challenge each
Mhm.
other and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
should-
I'll hook you up. I'll get you the link. It's the
I-
one that I've been using with this dude. What's up,
yeah.
Zach?
We should get us
I know he doesn't
a
watch, but what's up anyhow?
we should get
um,
us a morning after chess league going and just
There we go.
challenge each other to
Ah.
chess matches on a daily basis and see.
I bet
see who-
Clyde's good.
I bet
I've been
Clyde
skating by
overthinks
on
it.
this thin veil that I'm a lot smarter than I seem, and this is just going to destroy that.
I bet
God
Clyde
damn
like
it.
way overthinks.
I feel like you
everything.
do the opposite. Like I feel like you try to make it seem like you're dumber than you are.
Yeah, then I seem dumb, but I'm, you know.
But you're smarter than what you seem.
yeah, that's what
I feel like
that's
the
what
veil you put over is like, yeah, I'm not that smart, but then you're just like, this
right. That's
individual
why I
is
say I'm so dumb, is so that then people go, he's smarter than he comes off.
lower
That's
expectations.
my strategy. So then,
Gotcha.
you know, if I try to sound smart, it's going to be obvious I'm not. So, you know, I got to try to sound dumb, and then I can, you know, that's my goal. You're onto it. You're just seeing it from the wrong side. But yeah, same thing. Yeah. But yeah, if we get
All
chess,
about
I'm
lowering
I'm
expectations.
embarrassingly bad at chess. I've been playing since I was 8 too, so I don't know what my deal is.
I feel like I should probably start with someone who hasn't been playing since 8.
And been bad at it, so you could actually learn
I
something.
don't know if I believe the part about you being bad at it. I'll watch a game between you and Justin.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you any good, Justin?
I don't think I'm all that good. I mean, I've also been playing since I was 8, but I'm good depending on my competition.
Have you ever like taken time to like read a Chess for Dummies book or anything? And like,
I got one on my bookshelf. I have not.
I feel like that's what I need to do. You should do that, then come and stomp both of us. Because I just feel like I just need to learn like some method or some strategy or something.
There's a particular set of moves that you can do that if the other person is not super familiar with chess, you can figure it out right away. Like you can win in 4 moves.
Mm-hmm.
And the other
I don't
person
want to be a hack player though, you know.
Well, I mean, I always try that the first time I play against. If I know I'm going to be playing against somebody more than once, I'll try it the first time just to see like what level they're on, and if it works the very first time, it's like okay. It's like okay. now I need to tailor my game to actually like let this person be competitive and we can have good games. Like I'm not at risk of losing to this person at any point, but I don't want to just like I don't want it to be embarrassingly unfun games. Like I would like to allow them to feel like they're challenging me. So like yeah, so I'll test that out every so often. My son surprisingly did not go for it. He saw through it, and I still ended up like kicking the shit out of him, but he was at least sharp enough to pick up on that set of moves right away and like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. I was like, oh, well, good. Like I'm not raising a complete dumbass. I have concerns about that at times, especially considering right now, literally the only class he's passing is PE. But like, at least when it comes to chess, he's not a total idiot.
Though, man. It's one of those mindsets. Like if you're like a good quarterback might be good at chess or something, right? But like you might have like never read a book in your life, but some people just have that mind for that strategy, or you know, some people are just fucking like some are like hustlers, or some people are good at coming up with like scams, and some people aren't. Some people fall for scams. You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean they're dumb either. It's just they could be fucking rubes. I don't know. But some people have a brain for that kind of shit, man.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's not a bad thing.
We never talked about Orban and
Queen's Gambit is about chess, and she plays chess in Russia, a lot of competitions. It's a pretty good show.
Is that how you learned about chess? Is from watching Queen's Gambit?
I mean, I knew a little bit more about chess before then, since I watched Queen's Gambit last year.
You watched Finding Bobby Fischer. That's what it was.
I don't know who that is.
Well, never mind then.
Was he a chess champion?
Yeah, that was a movie from the late 90s, early 2000s, Dag. You probably never watched it either.
Nah, not familiar.
The Legend of Bagger Vance is about golf. Like I like all the sports movies. I guess like chess isn't necessarily a sport, but it's a competitive thing. I enjoyed chess movies.
Legend of Bagger Vance, Stephen Pressfield, right?
Tiger Woods. No, I don't know. Morgan Freeman. I think Morgan Freeman actually was in it though, right? I don't know.
No, the Legend of Bagger Vance had Will Smith and Matt Damon.
Oh, damn it! Wrong black guy. You try one of the two of those, you got a 50-50 shot.
You know, and if you miss with either of those, go Denzel Washington and you get it.
Jamie Foxx is a fourth rung. Yeah. Oh, we didn't even think about Samuel L. Jackson, but he's past his prime. He's not in everything anymore. He used to be.
And he wasn't really in everything. Like he was in certain
That's
things.
the eye patch guy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Nick Fury. Also, it's the snakes on the motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane guy.
He was in a not high-end movie, everything. But he wasn't in like a typical A-list movie, everything. Is that the right way to say that?
Yes.
Did Morgan Freeman narrate the movie?
Probably. He narrates everything. I saw a commercial yesterday where Morgan Freeman writes or reads a letter that Tom Brady writes to some kid. That was pretty cool.
I gotta find that.
It was actually pretty good. It's like at the end of reading the letter, he looks at Tom Brady and he goes, "Did you actually write this?" It was kind of funny.
All right, well, if y'all out there are praying people, pray that the hurricane doesn't hit me.
Oh, you got one coming?
I thought Floridians
Yeah.
like hoped that the hurricane hit you. That way you could, you know, like overestimate everything on your insurance and get new shit.
No, you're gonna love this. Property owners versus non-property owners. They have very different attitudes about hurricanes. One person is like, "Yay, let's party! Look at all these stupid people. Hurricanes are never anything anyhow." And people who own property are like, "Oh my god, all my shit." So, yeah. So vote people who should vote versus people who shouldn't vote. That's how we should classify it as in Florida. It's not even whether you own property, just how you do feel about a hurricane coming. You know what I mean? That should be the way. Like, oh man, this is really gonna suck for a lot of people. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're good. If it's,
But Doug, that's
I'm
great.
filling my
The
washing machine with
flavoring.
beer. Yeah.
Says all the retards.
See y'all.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.